1974, the U.S. government passed a law called ERISA, and that was the shift in, it caused the 401k, the IRA, and RRSP. So 74 are boomers. Today, there's 75 million boomers who are hoping the stock market's going to keep them alive. And I was talking about it. I said, when the S&P comes down, and it's going to come down because the bond market's going to collapse also, you're going to have a lot of homeless boomers. And the boomers were the luckiest generation in history, except without financial education. They put their retirement years on the stock market. I think it's so high risk against that. Gold and silver are God's money.
Right.
Placed here by God.
Yeah.
But historically, you have to look at things from a historical point of view. Every currency has a life cycle.
Right.
Okay, like we have human beings, we have life cycles.
Sure.
So a currency has a life cycle. So when the Confederate dollar ran its life cycle, it went out. When they called that the Continental, which was the money for the revolution, when it died, it went out. When the Weimar Republic, the Reichsmark died, it went out. And hyperinflation follows that. So I predict that the U.S. dollar as a currency is at the end of its life cycle. It's a dying currency. So that's why BRICS and or Bitcoin and all that are coming up right now, because the U.S. dollar is dying. When I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad 20-something years ago, I said savers are losers. Why would you trust something our criminal governments will print? I always talk about if you can print it, I don't want it.
Right.
So I don't have bonds.
Yeah.
I don't have cash. If we can print it, I don't want it. So I have investing in Wagyu cattle.
Okay.
Because you can't print a Wagyu cattle. And I make my money, talk about cash flows. I buy the breeding bulls. Real estate's going to crash because the boomers are going to go down.
Right.
If you understand the boomers, anyway, they're about to go. And 74, ERISA put them all into paper assets.
Right.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETF. I won't even touch a silver or gold ETF. I don't buy Bitcoin ETF. I want the real thing. But that's me, because I'm old enough to have seen the booms and busts. I never lived in Zimbabwe, but I was in Zimbabwe for about 2 months, and it's horrifying. It's when your currency is worth nothing. So I'll say it again. U.S. dollar has a life cycle. It's a currency life cycle. So when you study macroeconomics, study the life cycle of a currency. It's a long death, but it's declining right now. That's why the BRICS.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching the BRICS. That's why 74 was also the petrodollar. So it's all on resources. So the VRIC, the reason I'm here, this is resources. This is the Vancouver, British Columbia in Silicon Valley for resources. And resources, as you know, because you've been at it for most of your life, I'm sure, resources will always be here, but tech stock will not be. And the thing, the S&P 500 is hanging on the magnificent sevens, Google, Apple, and all that. And if I was a boomer right now, and I'm going to start to liquidate, and if the S&P collapses, because our bond markets are collapsing.
Yeah.
I wrote another book, Who Stole My Pension with Ted Siddell. Our pensions are empty. Wall Street and our governments have looted us. America is a criminal operation run by the head of the criminal organization called Biden. What these guys are doing, it's criminal. The first thing that Biden did when he came to office, he cut the Keystone XL pipeline. I sell oil. I have hard assets. I'm an oil guy. I went to school for oil. And the moment Biden came to office, his first act was to cut that pipeline. Under Trump, I was selling oil at $30 a barrel. The day that Biden came to office and cut the pipeline, oil went from 30 to 130. Inflation went through the roof. And what that means is, mom and pop, Mrs. Soccer Mom standing there at the pump, she can't afford to put gas in her SUV, and she's got 3 kids to feed, and prices at the supermarkets going up. Because oil affects everything. Civilization runs on energy.
Yeah.
So that's why uranium's going up and all this stuff and oil. But the uneducated or unsophisticated public is in serious trouble right now. So I feel for the people who may lose their homes. The homeless among boomers is going to go up just because they have nothing. American boomers are the luckiest generation in world history. But they have nothing because our schools teach us nothing.